Hi, my name is Anna. I am founder of TOO.BADASS branding agency, and today we're talking about how to stand out as a brand on the market. So if you own a brand business, you are thinking of launching something or rebranding, this is video for you. So we're going to cover 3 steps on how to stand out on the market, because we have a lot of businesses and a lot of brands and they are all the same, but it's actually easy if you follow these 3 steps and work on it consistently. Yesterday, I received kind of a compliment from my client. So she said, you're so creative for your age, and I haven't seen people that creative. And I believe that my team is as well super creative. There is not that many people in business who would care about brand story, name, logo, strategic approach to that, visual, and make it aligned across platforms. It's really hard to explain, but as we dive into the video, I guess we're gonna figure that out. So what is the first step of standing out? The first step is you want to have quality of your product, right? If we are going to be building packaging strategy story around something, we need the value first. We need the product of a good quality. We need something that is unique, something that nobody else can claim for, and then we're going to be different from others. Only through branding, through positioning, it's hard, right? And when you have a good quality product, then you can build this loop of a brand around it. You can multiply the initial great value of the product, because brand is multiplier, and then people will return for a repetitive sales to you, and they would care for your brand. They would not care only for the price, right? So, and we have in Ukraine specialist in branding. His name is Andrei Fedorov, and he has 5 levels of brand uniqueness, and the 4th one is true unique brand which has value. And I believe that if there is a product that doesn't have anything behind it, any new features, any new benefits, it's hard to build a brand around it. And it's not that hard to do the high quality product. For example, there are celebrities that do launch different brands, right? But behind those brands, there is a product that you can use at least, and they also have uniqueness of their name attached to it. They already have an advantage. So when you're starting out, you should have unique points to your brand nobody else can claim for. Then the second thing, okay, I have a really stupid example in my head, and this video is about creativity, so we're gonna go mad a little bit with examples. So the example of last brand that launched by Sydney Sweeney, her bath soap. I even do not know how it's called. I just read about it on the internet, really short. And the uniqueness she has in her product. Obviously, it smells good. It's with a pine or something, and it looks good, and it should be really has pleasant texture, and it's maybe healthy option. I don't know the details. So the quality, the core, there is a core, right? So people are buying stuff, but the uniqueness is her name on it, and the uniqueness is her best water, right? So it is limited, it is scarce, and there are people who are asking for it. And she said that if there are people asking for my best water, why not make it a soap and make it a brand, make money on it? That's an opportunity, and she took it, and there is unique point. There is no other best water by Sydney Sweeney. So there is uniqueness. You have strong core, and then you have uniqueness, and that's it. The first step. The second step is you're gonna tell everybody around about your brand. You are not gonna just sit in your room, close up, and just sit with your business, right? Nobody's gonna come saving you. Nobody's gonna come buying your product or your service, obviously. And when I say telling everybody about it, is already first stage of building a brand. it's gonna take 2 to 5 years, and it's really a long job, a long process. I understand it myself, and sometimes it is too tiring. Like, you are tired of speaking of your brand. You feel like everybody knows your brand, but it's not true. For example, we've been building this branding agency for around 6 months now, and I'm even tired of saying the word "too.BADASS" branding agency, because it feels so cliche, like it's overused word. But we have like 1,500 subscribers or something on Instagram, and there are billions of people on earth who do not know about this brand. So why not shout louder? Why not repeat it again? And such huge brands as Nike or Reebok, they have their slogans that are super popular. And I'm like, that's the story I tell everybody. But Nike has a slogan, "Just do it," or Red Bull has a slogan, "Red Bull gives you wings." And they are always repeating that slogan. They have never changed it. Why? Because they know if they repeat it, people will remember it. That's how our brain works. That's how, like, remembering and repeating is one of the tools or clues to get people to remember your stuff. And they will never get tired of repeating their slogan. It might be so boring for them, but there are billions of, like, there are people on earth who might not know what Nike is. And I, like, for sure I can say that there are people who do not know what that is. So there is always a room for improvement. Another example is from a bit of political world, which might not be appropriate again, but this is a creative video and it's a talking video, so let's get into it. In politics, they have campaigns, we'll know that. And when you are selected by the public, it means that you have trust and love of the public, right? Of the majority. And it's really good. That's what we want for brands. We want the trust. Because when people are trusting us, they would trust to buy our services or our product. They would trust us with their time, money, or effort, or reviews, whatever. And two leaders that are currently presidents in their countries, these are Trump and Zelensky. But I'm not talking about politics here. I'm talking about their approach to branding. What they both did is they had enormous amount of TV time, enormous amount of, like, speaking on the camera, and especially in the latest election campaign of Trump, he had, I forgot, but around 20 or 21 hour of long format content. He said that on, I guess that was from podcast of Diary of CEO. Somebody was talking about it. And in comparison to Kamala, he had like 3 times or 4 times more long format content. And why is that important? Because he just put out content, he put out his thoughts out there. He went to comedians, he went to different, like, speakers or interviewers, where he would build his beliefs. Like, he would be able to communicate what he believes in a right way, in a natural way. He'd be able to connect with people, and that's what really matters. When you are putting your brand out there, when you're speaking about it, when you are building the presence, when you are trying out different formats of content, for short term would work really great for new people, like for spreading out, for promoting, and for people to get to know your face. That's where it works really good on TikTok and on Instagram. But when you want to build trust and connection with people, that's where YouTube comes in and long format content comes in. Because when you want people to know your name, to trust you, that's definitely YouTube. That was a research by Alex Ramosi in comparison of social media platforms. So that's where I got it from. Essentially, I believe in it. I believe that even if you are not putting out high quality content, you're gonna do hard work first, and then you're gonna do smart work later. So from posting just something, from saying just something that you think might work, or you don't know how it will work, you are getting your experience. And in the first months, let's say you posted 20 times, and from those 20 pieces, you can filter 20% that worked out best based on your analytics on social media, and then you're gonna filter it again and again and again every month, and you're gonna become the expert in promoting your brand. And when you have another trick, when you have a name that can be used as a brand word, that's really valuable thing. For example, we have too.BADASS, and this can be used as adjective. I can say that's too badass, or we have a slogan, how badass it is. So we are always repeating this word and using this in sentences. For example, some say, can you Photoshop that image, or can you Uber me, or other words that become like regularly used in the sentence. That's what we are going for, and that's how we can build the presence. When you are meeting new people on the conferences or just at work, really do not be shy about your brand or about your business that you're building, and tell them about it, because they're gonna spread the word. And I recently met like old friend, and I didn't know what she was doing, or she didn't know what I was doing, just because we like our roads split apart. But we just told each other, she is working on the app and I'm working on the branding agency, and I just googled the app and I searched it. I'm like, well, that's a really good project and we are in the same niche. So when you just say it, people will know it. And I think that I made a huge mistake of not telling people for a really long time and being mostly shy in real life. At least I did this on social media. So that's really great. What else can we do there? Yeah, we should be focusing all our energy into promoting, into repeating, into talking about it, into saying something about our brand. So the first thing is have the quality and have the product. Second thing is talk about it all the time. The third thing is really be true and creative and do not restrict yourself. So the video is about how to stand out, right? And finally we got to the juicy part. I'm saying be creative. That's like easy to say, but it's really hard to be creative, and I know that. I believe that I was not that creative, and I just evolved. Like I improved this skill over time, and I improved that skill through spending time thinking and coming up with ideas and content and ideas for branding. Let me explain what can we do here. So one of the philosophical thoughts I had when I launched the agency is, we needed promo videos, some ads, and one of the philosophical thoughts and approaches, the main approaches I had is like, when we are children, we are so creative. We do not restrict ourselves in like anything. We just do what we like with what we came up with, right? If I decided that I want to try out like what pages of this book taste, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna do this. Or if I want to make a plane out of this blanket or be a superhero, I'm gonna try it out. It's all stupid and silly and maybe goofy, and that's why parents are laughing so much on their children, but like they are enjoying them. And it's okay because they are children, right? But as we grow up, we restrict us with that many standards, with so many formalities, with so many smart stuff, that it feels like no longer appropriate to step any foot aside from like just sitting in a suitcase at a conference meeting. And it's really boring, and just like that's so restricted, that's so template, that's so not creative, that's so you're not standing out at all. Why are you not standing out? Because you are essentially afraid of doing it. When you stand out, it means people will be looking at you and they would be judging you and they would say something about you, whether you are beautiful or not, or stupid or silly, or like whatever they see you as. But that's the challenge, essentially. The challenge is just to come up with a thought, which is not basic, which nobody else does. It can be silly, stupid, weird, etc. and then perform this thought, try it out, really, and that's it. And how you're gonna deal with the criticism or the comments, etc. Anyway, that's activity for your social media or for your brand, so you're gonna deal with that. We know people, we know how to do that. We just have to like make those first steps of coming up with the idea and actually putting that to action. So I have example. This week I've been trying out new format for reels for our branding agency, and I'm like, let's do a format of doing what ChatGPT says to get our perfect branding case. And ChatGPT would say that I gotta show really a creative branding idea for some product. I'm like, which product? So he came up with like candies or chewing gum or something. Then I was walking down the street, I saw like in a village goat, and the goat, it was chewing really fun. And I'm like, why not make chewing candy brand with a goat? And why don't I record a reel with this goat? Which is really weird. I know that that's gonna like attract people's attention because there are not that many goats on reels, especially on branding agencies' accounts reels. So this is already creative thinking, and then you put that into a script and put that in ChatGPT, and you will definitely 100% have people around saying that's stupid, that's silly, that's weird. That's what all my family said to me. When you're recording that, it looks ugly, weird, and stupid. But when you get to the final result of recorded, edited, and like mastered reel, then that's beautiful reel. And I tested out several more ideas where I would play dad as like in real life, and I show dad design, or I would be dad dancing and super hyped up and super alive, and I would in parallel show the beautiful resurrecting and like inspiring design. So these are stupid ideas, these are primitive ideas, seems like it, but then they are raw ideas. When you work on them, when you perform some steps, they come out to be really creative stuff. Or another idea that I had for, there was educational platform, and I wanted to come up with the name for them. Like educational platform gives students really rare opportunity to get free tutoring to enter the university in Australia. And I'm like, how do we want to, when do we use this brand? We will mostly be using this brand in family gatherings. So family is going to be talking about like who made our kid really smart, who like let our kid, gave our kid the opportunity to enter into that university. So they're going to be talking about their kid as parents and or grandparents, etc. And they would be saying, he is the one, we know that he's the one who'd be the first to enter university from our family, or he's going to be like somebody. And this word, like the one, somebody and stuff, I circled around on it, and I checked databases with the brand names, etc. And at the end came up with the name, the player. He can be the player, so he can define the game, and it's education, but it has reference to some sports. And essentially education is also same as sports, about motivation, about pursuing your goal, about going like every day without seeing the immediate result, because you're going to see that in 2 years or in 3 years. And there are a lot of thoughts into that, and that's creative because no other organization or platform from educational space is using this sport reference, which I believe is interesting. Sport reference is new thing and is creative thing. So when you let your thoughts come into reality, and you're not going to restrict yourself for some time, then you're going to train this creativity, and in a couple of years you're going to have a brand and you're going to have a creative way of thinking. Or if you don't have one, we can always work together as a branding agency for your business. That's really smooth approach to the end of this video. We also have other videos on how to come up with your brand name, on how to work on your logo, and what other typical mistakes that you should avoid on your website. Check them out and have a nice day. See you in next